Can anybody else do it? Tonya?
I didn't do it, Abdul, but I looked at it, but I couldn't do it. Like I didn't have the option to do it.
Tonya, did you do it? Okay, let's just wait for 1 more minute and then we can get started. Ramil, did you get a chance to do the assignment?
Hello?
Yeah.
Abdul, I was working on the assignment, but to be honest, I recovered all of the classes from first day till today
Okay.
and yesterday because while I was looking to some questions, on the interview questions, I saw that like I had some confusion, so I repeated all of these, whatever the joins, unions, everything in SQL and Powercenter. So entire yesterday I was working all the previous classes that I don't want to make a confusion after that when you go ahead.
So nobody did the assignment? Guys, I gave you 2 days for it. One assignment question. Can somebody share their screen and do it now?
I mean, I can go ahead if you want.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna go to create the Home Depot employees. Okay, table. And later we're gonna have all these informations and then they insert the below. So I'm gonna take all of this one first of all. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take all of this ones here. Yeah. the one will create, but not this is the table create. Okay, this. Okay, create below flat file. Separate location. Okay, these are the. Okay, so these are the two tables. Abdul, you see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, Rambo, we see your screen.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
Raman, we can see your screen.
okay. So here the two tables. Now I'm gonna go back to the question. Okay, so see the create below flat file. Okay, in source file location. Okay, it's gonna be this one. So it's gonna be my output. Okay, job ID, job name, and these are the informations that I would like to take them out. Load data to table H and employee info. Okay, they join three sources to load data to first target. Use the SQL join for the tables and output of the to join the flat file using joiner. Okay, run this job and load data. Now schedule this job. Okay, Tuesday. Okay. Okay, so Abdul, I'm gonna here have the I think one table and one flat file as a target table,
No,
and
No, no, flat file. We're gonna create this flat file in the source location, and then you have, if you see like in the question that you have to join three sources to load data to one target table.
correct.
The
oh,
target
so this
table.
is gonna be my source too. Okay,
Yes, yes.
okay.
You will join table A with table B, and then the output of that with flat file, and then load it to one table.
I think first of all I have to create over here one flat file as a source, right? this is my flat file here. Job ID, job
So
ID.
table has employee data, another table has department data, flat file has job data. You're going to make life easy for the end user or the business user by combining all of this data and loading it into one single place. So in one table, user can look at employee, department, and job information.
Yeah.
Right now it's in three different systems. You're going to load it into one system.
Okay. So for last time, I'm gonna go back to the assignment again. Okay. So here, load data to the table HR employee. So this is gonna be my main table, the target table, and we're gonna load all of the tables. I mean the data here, and these are my um, the columns. So I think now I'm ready to go back to here. Okay. As a source, I'm gonna have here two flat. I mean, I have two tables and one flat file. So first, I'm gonna get the flat file to make it easy a little bit. Okay, here, here. This one is my flat file. I don't need that. Okay. Okay, one, two. Okay, these are all my sources, two tables and one flat file. And then target, I'm gonna create, I think, myself because okay, the target is gonna be okay. Table is my target here. Okay, so this guy is gonna be, I think here is correct. I can make it, I can make this was 15. It's correct. Apply. Okay, save. And this one here. Let's create this one. Okay, I have this table here, which all data is gonna come over here. Now I'm gonna back to my
Check the data types.
data type. Oh, this one should be, yeah. Okay, now I'm good. Then I'm gonna just carry all of the tables up to the info. So, oh, okay. Okay, so here now I'm gonna create the mapping. So let's see. So Abdul, the name is gonna be, I have a flat and Oracle. I'm gonna go ahead. Whatever.
Just say M underscore EMP underscore DEPT underscore information. Uppercase everything.
Home people, right? Home. Okay, so
Ramil,
yes,
can you please, while doing like each step, can you please also say it, like, because I'm also working at the same time, so I cannot do both, like watching and doing. So when you say it, I'll do the same at the same time.
okay,
Please.
no
Finish
problem.
it as soon as possible. I don't have time for all of this. This was supposed to be an assignment. Finish this. I'm waiting. I have to teach new topic. Even August 8 doesn't look. I cannot. I don't think even by August 8 I can finish if you guys keep doing this.
Okay. So, Abdul, right away, I'm gonna use the joiner table. I mean, joiner transformation here. And
No, you will not use joiner transformation. Please read the question.
okay, you have three. You have to join three sources to load data to one target. Okay, this is good. Use source qualifier, join two tables, and output of that join join FF using joiner. Okay, okay. So it means that like for two of these, I'm gonna use the source qualifier and then take it over here. Later, then whatever the output, then I'm gonna connect this one with the output and take to the target table. So I understand. Okay.
So what are you going to do now?
Here, first of all, I'm gonna join these two tables here with the with the help of the source
That
qualifier.
is wrong. That is completely wrong. Can you join a flat file with a table within source qualifier?
No, but both of them is Oracle here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, both of them are table. Yeah, you can join that one and that one in source qualifier. Okay, go ahead and
So,
join it.
okay. Okay. I'm gonna go right away. Go right away.
Cancel this. Cancel this. Delete that source qualifier. Drag and drop department name. Drag and drop both of them below. Now join those two tables in the source qualifier. Go to user defined join.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get department IDs. Department ID.
Minimize the source definitions. Okay, now you have to join a table with a flat file. How will you do this?
The joiner. Then I'm gonna bring the joiner over here, take all this data to joiner, and two of them go to the joiner.
Will you take all of them? Hold on. You have two department IDs. Will you take both department IDs?
No, I'm gonna take on the department ID, which is attribute of the department.
Okay.
So yeah, this one, emp ID, emp name, and I will take job ID also because I have to match it with this one. Actually, no. Actually, no. I don't need this one because this is the attribute of here. I will take from there.
But how will you join?
Yes, it means I have to have this one. You're right. Only this department ID should stay outside.
Minimize that source qualifier. You are supposed to use sorters before joiner. You're not using that. Remember, I told you the moment you have a joiner, you have to use sorter.
Yes, as a for like a index, right?
For performance tuning.
I can use.
Get rid of that one. You don't need that one anymore. Department ID one.
On the name, right? Right there.
Yeah. Why are you sorting on? Are you joining on department ID? What will you? Which column will you sort? Will you join? Will you
Job
sort
ID.
on?
Job ID.
Okay, then why are you doing department ID?
So here I have to mention that now job ID is equal to job ID has to be equal to this plus. No. Okay, I'm good here. Okay. I'm gonna check the properties. Okay, this is good. And it's gonna be normal join. No, actually I can do the full join.
It's normal join.
Normal
Connect
join.
everything to target and run your workflow.
Is not a validated types of ports job ID 1 and job ID do not match. Okay. Job ID decimal and job ID.
Not
Okay.
that one. Not that one. The one coming from flat file. Change it.
Okay. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay. Here I'm going to check this one. And mapping. So here I have to make sure that okay. So this one is my user defined. Okay. Number of sorted posts. Select these things. We don't have to show the see the questions all the time. And this one is okay. So here then only the thing that I have to do, I think, for the schedule, right?
First run the workflow.
I run the workflow. This is the table.
Can you show me your data?
Yeah. Yeah, the depth ID, I did the descending, and these are the datas.
But you're
Can
still loading duplicates, right? And your job name is not there complete. How can you get rid of duplicates?
Yeah, I can do the duplicates out. I can go here on this thing. I can take it out.
Do it in the source qualifier. Don't do it here.
But Abdul, you know what I tried at home when I was doing here, okay, and not doing the workflow, it was not taking these things out.
Yeah, it will not, right?
That's why I did it on only this one, and it was
No, do
taken
it.
out.
Double click on the source qualifier.
No, I know how to take it out, like
Not
here.
here, not this one. There is no duplicates, and this is a flat file. In flat file, you cannot do that. Double click here.
Mhm.
In flat file, source qualifier is disabled. Double click on the other source qualifier. Go to properties, select distinct, say apply, say OK. Control S. Go to session.
So we have to choose over here too, right?
Yeah, first refresh this. It should automatically take in. You don't have to do it here. Just refresh it. It should.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm asking. Like, if I'm doing here, then why I have to choose that on the source code file? In any case, I have an option here to choose that.
No, your mapping and session should be in sync. Over there you cannot have some code. Over here you cannot have another code. Okay, it is selected.
It's
Say okay.
selected, but at home I was choosing this one and not choosing on the source code file. Still, it distincts the information. So it means
No,
that
it will not.
oh,
Say apply.
okay.
Say okay. Control S. Run the workflow.
And the schedule this one. That's it.
Yeah, you can schedule it later.
Okay.
You know how to
But
schedule it.
Abdul, this was the as you saw that like when I opened the screen, especially I was working like especially on
Yeah,
this.
see, this assignment took you 30 minutes. Guys, you guys are telling me in the last 48 hours you didn't have 30 minutes? That's not good. That's really not good. See, I had so many topics I made a list of to teach, and I only have 2 hours left now. Okay, please do not tell me why are you taking so long. My original date was August 2nd, and then I said, okay, let me give you some time to do assignments, and then I stopped taking classes on Wednesdays. Now again, you guys are not doing assignments. You guys were doing very well, and now suddenly everybody stopped doing assignments. I spent 30 minutes working on assignment now. Okay, anyways, let me share screen. If you're not doing assignments, I might as well take classes on Wednesdays. Finish up by August 2nd. Okay, let me present screen now. Remind me to fill out the Excel at the end. Okay, can everybody see my screen? So we have done joiner transformation, source qualifier transformation, and joiner transformation. Okay, let's do lookup. So you know how to join two tables using joiner transformation. You know how to join two tables using source qualifier transformation. Now I will show you how to join two tables using lookup. You can use, this is also for anything. You can do tables, flat files, anything. Okay, so let me create a table. Create table emp underscore LKP. So I will have emp ID number, emp name, varchar 215, and depth ID will be number. Let me insert some data into this table. Insert into values 1 up to 10. Let me insert another value in this table. 2, yeah, sir, 20. Okay. So I created a table. I inserted some data in this table. I'm going to create another table. Create table dept underscore LKP, depth ID number, depth name, maybe varchar 2 bean. Insert some data into this. I'll probably cover like three interview questions in the next 2 hours. Insert into this table values 10 comma IT, and then 10 comma sales, and then I will put 30 comma HR. Look at this data. Okay, I inserted 2 values into the employee table, and then I inserted 3 values into department table: 10 comma IT, 10 comma sales, and 30 comma HR. 10 is there 2 times. Is this clear to everyone? So let's look at the data I have. Okay, this is the data I have. Now, I'm going to make life easier for business users because they want to see employee ID, employee name, department ID, and department name in one single place. They don't want to go to 2 different tables and see which department Abdul works for. Abdul works for IT, right? So they don't want to do that. So I'm going to make their life easier by integrating data from different sources, like how Ramil integrated data from 3 different systems into one place. Now I'm going to integrate data from here and here into one table. So I'm going to create a table called, so I will create emp ID number, emp name, varchar. Just copy from here. This is going to be my target table. Create. Oh, this is my target table. Okay. So I'm going to take data from this one and load it into this one. Okay, this one has employee information, this one has department information. I want all of that into this one table. So I'll go to my shortcut folder. So I will import the structure of source. My source is going to be employee. So this will be my source. This will be my target. And let me drag and drop source and target. So this is my source. I'm going to drag and drop here. Okay, I'm going to exit out. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to create a mapping. M underscore EMP underscore DPT underscore lookup. So let me drag and drop my source. This is my source. And this is my target. Is this clear to everyone so far? Now, the first three columns, emp ID, emp name, dept ID will come from the source. Where will dept name come from? Either I will have to join using source qualifier, or I can join using a joiner. I can either join using a joiner or I can join using a source qualifier. The third way is I'm going to use a lookup. So import from, see, you can do a lookup on table or flat file. So a relational table. So which table am I going to do a lookup on? I'm going to do a lookup on department LKP. Okay. So let's call this as LKP underscore DEPT. So this is the third way of joining. One way is source qualifier. The other way was the joiner. The lookup is the third way. I'm going to join on this one and return this. So I'm going to join dept ID. So I will call this as IN underscore. You can call it ABCXYZ, but that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to create a condition. Dept ID equals to dept ID. Okay. Then I will take all of this data, then map it here. Then I'll take department name and map it here. Is this clear to everyone?
It is clear.
Okay. So I'm going to create a workflow. So where is my table? This one. Yeah. So open this, make sure this is checked, go to config object, make sure this is stop on error is always 1. Go to your source, go to your target, make sure this truncate table option is selected. Now your lookup is a table, so you have to give a connection here. Anytime you reference a database object, you have to give the connection. Source is a table, target is a table, lookup is a table. So you'll have to give one connection here, you'll have to give one connection here, one connection. Anytime you reference a database object, you have to give a connection. Okay, start the workflow. So let me do select star on my target table. And I do select star on my target table. I see my data. Is this clear to everyone? So in one place, I have department, employee information, and department information. Now, let's look at the data. So employee table has this information, department table has this information. And this is my output. Is this clear? This is my source, this is my lookup table, and this is my output. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
So tell me what's happening here.
It takes like a left join.
So it is taking everything from the left table.
Left table, yeah.
Right? And only matching records from the right. So first interview question, lookup is always a left join. Okay. So this is your left table. This is your right table. So whenever you are using a lookup, it is always a left join. You will get everything from the left table and only matching records from the right table. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
It is an important interview question. Whenever you're using a lookup, you will get all the records from the source, which is left. This is on the left side, this is on the right side. Lookup is always left. Lookup can never be configured as right or full outer join. Okay, is that clear? See, source qualifier join, you can write your SQL override and you can do full join, left join, right join. Joiner transformation, where joiner you can do master detail, outer detail, you can configure. But over here, lookup will always work as left join. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, it is. Is there a preference or is according to the scenario?
I'll come to that. Okay, I'll tell you which one to use where. So right now, you know 3 different ways of joining tables. I'll show you one more using SQL transformation, 4 different ways. Okay, I'll tell you which one to use, which one. Okay. Is that clear? This is always a left join. You will always get all the records from this table. Employee table has 2 records, right? Employee table has 2 records. One Abdul, so one Abdul 10 IT, 2 Yasir 20 and null, because there is no 20 here. Okay. If there is a matching record from the lookup table, it will load. If there is no matching, it will load null. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Second thing. What is the second thing? Can someone tell me?
The depth IDs are same.
So there are 2 depth IDs, 10 and 10. Why is Informatica picking up IT. Why is Informatica not picking up sales? Okay, so when you do a lookup, you have this option: use any value, use first value, last value, or report an error. So default will be use any value. So it will pick up any value. If I say use first value, it will pick up IT. When you're saying pick up any value, it is picking up IT. If you say use first value, it will pick up IT. If you say use last value, pick up sales. Or the another option is report an error. Okay, you have so many different options here. Lookup policy on multiple match. Over here, it is finding multiple matches. 10 is finding multiple matches here. So you can say either pick up random or pick up first one, pick up last one, or report an error. So let's see what happens when you say pick up first value. It will again pick up IT only, because first value is IT, so it picked up IT. Now I'm saying pick up last value. When I say pick up last value, so last value is sales, right? Lookup policy on multiple matches, I am saying pick up last value. So instead of IT, it will load sales here.
Abdul, is that an interview question too? What are the different lookup values?
Actually, no, but this is, I'm showing this to teach something different that is going to come up. The interview question will be what kind of lookup is, what kind of join is lookup? Lookup is always a left join. That is one interview question. So instead of IT, I'm going to pick up sales now. See, I'm picking up the last value. Is that clear? Or the fourth option is report an error. So it will fail when it encounters multiple matches, it will fail. Now the workflow will fail. So multiple matches found in lookup. This is another failure. In interview, they'll ask you what kind of different failures have you worked with. This is one other failure. What are the different failures you have worked with so far? File does not exist, a table or view does not exist, or invalid logon, or primary key violated, unique, cannot insert nulls, or integrity constraint violated, or check constraint violated, or cannot insert varchar into a number field. These are the different failures you have encountered, right? Is that clear? So if there are multiple matches, you can either say pick up random value, pick up first value, pick up last value, or report an error. Is that clear to everyone?
So, Abdul, when you say that report an error, this report is because of this 10 is a double, or it's not matching to the first table? Like, what's the
It is
reason?
matching to the first table. It is
But the
these
second one doesn't match.
what is the error message? Multiple matches found, right?
Okay.
It is it found multiple matches for this 10. It found multiple matches, right? This match and this match, right? Yes or no?
Multiple. Yes.
You have 110 here. You have multiple 10s here.
I see.
Do you have multiple 10s or no? You have 110 and second 10, right?
Two different names, but the same.
Forget about names. Forget about names. You're joining on depth ID and depth ID, right?
Hmm?
So when it is trying to join on this one and return this one, it is finding multiple matches, right? So either you can say pick up the first value, pick up the last value, pick up random value, or fail if it finds multiple matches. 10 is finding multiple matches here. So it is failing. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, it is clear.
Okay, let's move then. So I said pick up first value, and then I am running the workflow. Okay, now can someone tell me if lookup is passive or active? Second interview question. First interview question is
Active and passive.
first
It is
interview question. First interview question was what kind of join is lookup? Lookup is always a left join. It will always take records from the source. If your
Yeah.
source has 2 records, it will load 2 records only. Second interview question is lookup active or passive?
I think both of them.
active.
Okay, I don't think then you guys know the difference between active and passive. Let's take one step back. Can someone tell me the difference between active and passive transformation?
When all the records are processed, is active.
That is the wrong answer, completely wrong answer. Can somebody else try? That is an interview question.
Number of rows.
If this
Hold on 1 second. That's an interview question which you guys are answering wrong. So I know how important you're taking my interview questions. Okay, go ahead. Can somebody answer what is the difference between active and passive?
If the incoming count of the incoming records doesn't change and go to the table, the same amount of the record is gonna be passive.
Very
If
good.
the transformation change the number of the records, then it's the active one.
Very good. Okay, if the incoming rows and outgoing rows are the same, then it is active. If the incoming rows and passive, if the incoming rows and outgoing rows from an expression is different, then it is passive. For example, sorter can be both active and passive. When you configure to sort data, it will always be passive. When you are configuring to remove duplicates, then it can be active, right? Same thing for expression. Expression will always be passive. It can never be active. Filter can be active or passive. When you type in true, it will be passive. It will let everything flow through. When you type in gender equals to m or something, when you put in a condition there, it will become active. Now in this case, is lookup active transformation or passive transformation?
I think passive.
No thinking, no maybe, no thinking. Give me the okay, why? How many records are going into the lookup?
It is
Well,
active.
2 records are coming and 2 records are going. It's just matching to the
Very
other
good.
3.
So it is passive. 2 records are going into the lookup and 2 records are coming out of the lookup. I don't know why you guys are saying active. How many records are going into the lookup? There are 2 records in the employee table, right? Right?
Yes, actually, Abdul, the reason I said was that I was thinking that all the records will be processed, but I wasn't thinking how many are coming out.
No
So
thinking. Number of records going in, number of records coming out. Passive.
coming out.
Number of records going in, number of records coming out. Different. Passive. Active.
Right, right.
Over here, answer once again. Let me ask for the third time. How many records are going into the lookup? How many records are there in my source?
2.
How many are going into the lookup?
2. And
How many are coming out of the lookup?
It's the same. 2. Right.
Two records here, 2 records here. 2 records are going in and 2 records are coming out in my target. 2 in my source, 2 in my target. Even though there are 3 in the lookup. So 2 going into the lookup, 2 coming out of the lookup. So lookup is what?
Passive.
Passive, right?
Passive transformation.
Clear? Don't make me go back to the basics now. Active, passive, we covered in the second class. So lookup is passive transformation. Now, starting from Informatica 9.6.1, this is a version of Informatica we are working on 9.6.1. This is already old. In my company, I'm using 10.2. Okay, starting from 9.6.1, lookup can be configured as as active transformation also. Is that clear to everyone? I will show that. So first interview question, what kind of a join is lookup? Lookup is always left join. Okay. Now, lookup is active starting from 9.6. Lookup can be configured as active also. Previously, it was always passive. Now it can be configured as active also. Okay. I'll come to that later, how to do that active. Now, second interview question. First interview question, what kind of join is lookup? Always left join. Second interview question, how do you change the default order by of lookup? If you go to your session log, this is very important, very important. Okay. And if you see, do you see this query? This is the query which is when Powercenter comes to lookup, this is the query it is executing. This is the query it is executing. Select depth name, depth ID. Okay. Why is it doing order by depth ID and depth name? Okay. Why is it doing order by depth ID? So in my lookup, I never said do an order by anything, right? In my lookup, I never said do an order by anything, right? But why is Powercenter doing an order by depth ID and depth name? So I'm not, when I'm doing a lookup on the department table, I did not put any condition here, right? I did not put any condition here, order by anything. So why is Powercenter doing? So Powercenter will always do an order by. Powercenter will always do an order by on the column it's joining and the column it is returning. The column it is joining is depth ID and the column it is returning is depth name, right? So Powercenter will always do an order by on the column it's on which it's joining, on the column it's returning. Is that clear to everyone? Even though you don't mention it, Powercenter will do an order by like this. Clear?
Clear.
Is this clear or no?
Yeah, it's clear.
Now my question is, I don't want to do an order by depth ID and depth name. I want to have my own order by. Okay. So right now Powercenter is automatically by default doing an order by this one and this one. For example, I only want to do an order by depth ID. So how would you do it? So how do you change the default order by? This is the default order by. Okay. Interview question. So very simple. Go to the lookup, like how you had SQL override, you have your lookup override. Generate SQL, copy this, go back to your database. I'll ask this question tomorrow, nobody will answer. So select from, okay. Then you will say order by, so I want to only do an order by depth name. So you can just say order by depth name hyphen hyphen. Okay. Go back and paste it here. Say okay, say apply, say okay. Control S, Control S. What is the current order by sequence? Currently, Powercenter is doing order by depth ID and depth name. I want to do it only by depth name. Okay, so even though we don't mention, Powercenter will automatically do this. I'm telling Powercenter, don't use your order by, use my order by. Okay, so now let me just make sure that that thing got saved. Yep. So you have to put two hyphens. Okay, order by whatever column you want and say See, look at the order by now. So previously Powercenter was doing order by depth ID and depth name. I said do it by depth name. This is what Powercenter took. It said select blah 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 from an order by depth name. Previously it was doing by this one, right? So it commented out. It took what I gave it. So this is how you change the default order by. You go to the lookup, SQL override, generate SQL, say order by, and put whatever column name you want, and put hyphen hyphen. That is very important. Okay, then it will. This is the default order by. It will my order by will override the default order by. Second interview question. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes or no? Is this clear?
It is clear.
Before the hyphen, we can put the descending as well, right?
Yeah, you can put descending, ascending, whatever. You can put your own order by. Okay, you can put your own order by. I'm not going to put all that, but yeah, you can put descending. How can you change the default order by in lookup? Okay. What are the new features in 9.6.1? Lookup can be configured as active. So two interview questions, and what kind of join is lookup? So lookup is always, yeah, I don't have that question. Lookup is always left out of join. So lookup is always left join. Lookup, how do you change the default order by? You go to the properties, go to lookup override, generate SQL, and put your own order by, copy the column and put hyphen hyphen. Previously, it was doing an order by on the column on which you're joining and the column which you were returning. Okay, now it is only going to do an order by on the column on which you are giving. Two things done. Now I'm going to make lookup as active transformation. Okay, how do you make lookup as active transformation? So we'll take a break after this. Okay, how do you make lookup as active transformation? Okay, so delete this. Okay, so let's do a lookup again. See, when you're importing lookup, it says return all values on multiple match. You have to select this. Okay, return currently what is it doing? It is returning only one match, right? It is only returning either the first match or the second match, or randomly pick up one or fail. But I cannot return two matches. I want to return two matches, right? So when you're importing lookup, if you say return all values on multiple match, that is when lookup can be configured as active. Okay. Now, this time you will have to drag and drop all the columns. When you're configuring lookup as active transformation, you have to drag and drop all the columns into the lookup. Previously, I did not drag and drop all the columns. I only dragged and dropped the column which I wanted to join on. So I will put iron in the front. You don't have to, but that is a proper naming convention. Iron in the front. Iron in the front. Okay. And I'm going to join on depth ID and depth ID. Okay. And I'm going to rename this. Get rid of this, Control S. Okay. Now you don't need to have an expression, but I just put an expression here. Okay, you don't need an expression. Let's not put unnecessary transformations. This is how you configure lookup as active. Okay, the first thing you need to do is when you're importing the lookup, you'll have to say return all values. So how many records will go into the lookup? 2 records will go into lookup. In my source, I have 2. Okay. So I'm saying return all values on multiple matches. So I will say 1 Abdul 10 IT, 1 Abdul 10 sales, and 2 Yasser 20 null. So 2 records are going in and 3 records are coming out because I am returning all the previously I was returning the first value or the last value or random value or fail. Now I'm saying on multiple matches return all values because the moment I used a lookup, I said return all values on multiple matches. Okay, I'll go here, refresh, Control S. See, my session, my workflow is invalid. Why? Because it says lookup is missing a connection. Do you see the error message here? So whenever you're referencing a database object, you have to give a connection, whether it's source or target or lookup. So previously, this is the output. So previously, this is what I was seeing. This is my source. This is my lookup. And this is my target. See, I read 2 records and loaded 3 records. Now lookup became active now. See, do you see the difference from before and now? Lookup is returning everything it is finding a match on. It found a match on 10 IT and 10 sales. It returned 10 IT and 10 sales. This is how you configure lookup as active transformation. You have to take all the columns and put it here. If you're configuring lookup as passive transformation, you don't do it like this. This is how you would do it. So 3 interview questions here. Okay, so previously, how did you do it? You just drag and drop on the column on which you're joining. Ready, and over here you will say use any value, use first value, last value. Okay, and then you would take this one and map it here. Emp ID, emp name, dept ID, you will map it there. From here, you will only return dept name. So this is what you were doing before. Okay, this is how you configure. On the top, I'm configuring lookup as active. On the bottom, I'm configuring lookup as passive. Is that clear to everyone? Now, when I'm configuring lookup as passive, I get option use first value, last value, report any error. Over here, those options will be disabled because I'm say use all values and this is disabled. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, it is. In the first lookup transformation, do we need to take the depth ID from the lookup, from the target, or it doesn't matter?
Can you say that again?
We have a depth ID in the first row, right?
Yeah.
Do we need to take the depth ID from the depth and department table, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. You're joining on dept ID equals to dept ID. So take this one or this one.
Because in the joiner, we said we need to take the main department table, let's say.
Yeah, because see over here you're saying dept ID equals to dept ID. So you can over here you cannot say right join, left join. That way it will make a difference. But when you're saying equals to, and you're you can take from anywhere. You can take it from here or here. You can either take it from
in the joiner also it doesn't matter, or it does matter?
No, even in this case, I should be taking it from here only. Okay.
Okay.
So is this clear to everyone? First interview question, what kind of join is lookup? Second interview question, how do you change the default order by in lookup? Third interview question, how do you configure lookup as active? Okay. So this is how you can join two tables and flat files. So we'll take a 10 minutes break and then I'll come back and we will do unconnected lookup. Then I'll tell you when to use source qualifier, when to use joiner, when to use lookup, when to use unconnected lookup. So we will come back and do unconnected lookup. And after that, I will do rank transformation. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll be back.
Turab,
Rami.
I think on the the what was the joiner transformation also, we don't have to choose from the department ID. I think it works if we take from the employee tables as a dept ID, but it would be, let's say, preferable because of the
Yes, it works both of them. Like if you take them from both tables, that's fine. It's gonna
because
give you output. But which one is the preference? That's why
yeah,
I was
because
asking.
I know what you mean. Because in joiner also, we said that like in the conditions that dept ID has to be same, like equal to the other dept ID. So I think it doesn't matter which one we take.
Okay, thank you.
But Turab, did you try that this thing? I tried like many times. I'm gonna do it again now. When we choose the distinct, on let's say source qualifier, and
Mm-hmm.
if we have a joiner transformation, I choose the distinct in the source qualifier, and I don't choose the distinct in the session level. It doesn't work. It doesn't take the distinct. So
Oh,
I have only one choice, has to choose the session level distinct, because you know what's going on when you choose the distinct on the source qualifier, and
mm-hmm.
when you refresh the mapping, I mean
Mm-hmm.
refresh the session, it automatically choose the distinct on the mapping. But if you go ahead to the mapping on the session and then unclick the distinct, but by the time like the source qualifier is already checked, right? This thing it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
this thing. So it doesn't make a sense like to choose this thing in the source qualifier. So better I go all the way down to the session level, choose the distinct, and that's it. It works.
Mm.
But
Basically, you're saying if you click this thing in the source qualifier, it doesn't take it. You have
it,
to do in the session level.
no. It like when you check first, when you click the distinct on the source qualifier, and
Uh-huh.
when you refresh the mapping,
Uh-huh.
session,
Uh-huh.
then it automatically click the distinct in the session level too. But
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
what I say that I myself, after refreshing, I go
Mm-hmm.
again to the mapping and unclick the distinct on the session level and
Uh-huh.
save it and then run workflow. It doesn't take
Uh-huh.
the distinct.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, okay. So it's kind of replicate like when you
Replicating,
click,
yeah.
it takes in the session level as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
But about the sorter, if we use the sorter, that's
Mm-hmm.
different issue. It always take the distinct. When
Yeah.
I
So the sorter is like for the distinct. That's the reason.
yes,
Also.
it is for the distinct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't go too deep. You're gonna lose everything.
Guys, interview.
Please.
Let's take it. Let's take it. Wait,
All right.
Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So why are you making changes to this, Zoeb? You're the only one who is making changes. I don't see anybody else making changes. I see you made a change last Sunday. Then I see you made a change on July 12th. On July 11th, you made a change. What change did you make? Okay, I think I should just remove edit access to everybody. I don't think I should keep edit access. No, I'll remove access for everyone. I'll give you read access.
Abdul, are we still gonna have the access to download the videos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't delete the videos and edit the files. I see only 2 people doing that. I don't see others doing it. Okay, so we did assignment 8.1. Then I showed you how lookup transformation, and then I showed you lookup transformation. Then I showed you lookup policy on multiple matches. And I showed you how lookup can be active and passive, right? Now I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to show you unconnected lookup and when to use. Then I'll show you source qualifier versus joiner versus lookup versus unconnected lookup. I also showed you how to change the default order by. Okay. Now let's go back. Let's go back. So this is how your lookup works, right? Is this clear to everyone? This is how our lookup works. We will drag and drop the column on which you're joining. We will put IN in the front, and we will create a brand new condition. Department ID equals to department ID. Use first value, last value, use whatever value you want. Okay. Map it to the target. So you have to give a connection. Okay. Oh wait, I did not truncate the target table. Okay. So 10 finds a match with 10 IT. I'm saying pick up the first value. So it's going to load this. Is this clear to everyone? How lookups work? Now, I have another table called mdpt underscore lkp something. I have like 5 different target tables. Okay. I have 5 different target tables. They all have department name. They all use department name. So I would have to do a lookup 5 different times, right? Is that clear to everyone? So right now I'm loading data into emp dpt lkp. If I am loading data into emp dpt lkp1, emp dpt lkp2, I have 5 different tables. And I have emp id, emp name, dept id, dep name in 5 different tables. So I will have to do a lookup 5 different times. Is that clear? Okay, I'll wait till you guys respond.
Can we collect all of the columns in one lookup and then link to the different targets?
Yeah, so if you're doing a lookup on this table, so if you're doing a lookup on a table multiple times and returning the same column, you don't have to do a lookup 5 different times. Okay, so I'm going to do a lookup on this table. I'm going to do a lookup on this table and return department name 5 different times. Same table I'm doing a lookup and loading it into 5 different tables. So I don't have to do it. I can do 5 different times, but there is a better way of doing those things. Okay, so I will use unconnected lookup. Okay, I will use unconnected lookup. So unconnected lookup means lookup will not be connected in the pipeline. We'll take all the columns from here, map it here. You will do a lookup one single time, and then you can call that port multiple times in expression. So you can say O underscore depth underscore name, and yeah, I'll make it string 15. It's not coming from source, so this is an output port. So how do I call this department name here? So I can just type in colon LKP dot, or you don't have to type anything. You can just say colon LKP dot the lookup table name. So you have to type in this, and then you have to put a dot, and then you have to type the name of the lookup. And on the column on which you're joining. So which column are you joining on? So you're joining on depth ID and depth ID, right? So you will go back here and say you don't have to type any of this, okay? You don't have to type any of this. You can just double click. You can just say this and get rid of this. Okay, validate, say okay, say okay, say apply, say okay. Okay, is that clear? So instead of doing a lookup 5 different times and loading it into the table 5 different times, you can just do something like this. If you don't understand this, you will not get a job. Simple as that. Short interview question. The moment they pick up the phone, within the 5 minutes, they'll ask you this question. What is the difference between connected and unconnected lookup? So instead of doing a lookup 5 different times and doing that, you can just do it like this. You can just call that port. You can do an unconnected lookup and call that port multiple times in the expression. Is that clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Clear.
So I'm returning this port multiple times in expression. Otherwise, how would I do it? So if I'm not using an unconnected lookup, so this is how I would have to do. Okay. Currently, this is what we are doing. This is the right way of doing things. Okay. If you don't want to use unconnected lookup, so this is what happens. So you will have to do a lookup multiple times. Okay. You'll have to keep, so every time you do a lookup, your workflow will slow down, because every time you do a lookup, you will have to connect to the database and return this column. If you're using unconnected lookup, you will just do a lookup one time only and keep calling that column. Okay, so let's write down the differences between unconnected and connected lookup. Short interview question.
Abdul, is it also performance tuning?
Yeah, performance tuning, because you're not making multiple, you're not going back to the database 5 different times. You're just going back to the database one time.
Also, can you please show me if it is possible to do the same thing as you did on the qualifier? You see, one qualifier, you took the many links to the different targets, right? Is it possible also in the lookup or not?
No.
So lookup has to link only one of them, like a one target table, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about the unconnected one. I'm talking about the connected
The connected one.
Yes, you see over there, you took like a one link from the, yes, the one link out to the target, right? From
This one?
Yeah, out. So can you do the out the second one? Yeah, instead of the second lookup.
Yeah, you can do that way also. Okay. So if you're calling the same port multiple times, So let's write down the difference between connected and unconnected lookup. Okay. So the first difference is this one is connected in pipeline. This one is connected in pipeline. This one is not connected in pipeline. Okay, this one is connected in pipeline. This one is not connected in pipeline. The second difference is connected lookup can return multiple ports. Do you guys understand what this means? I don't know. You guys are not very quiet today. I have to ask the same question like multiple times. Do you understand what this one means?
Yes, Abdul.
Okay. Even if one person answers, that's good enough for me. So it can return multiple ports, can return only one port. Okay. So it can return multiple ports mean in connected lookup, you can return multiple ports like this. You can return 2 ports. So you're returning 2 ports. In unconnected lookup, you can only return 1 port at a time. Can be configured as active and passive. Okay. This can only be configured as passive. Okay. Can be configured as static and dynamic. I'll show this. Okay. Cannot be configured as dynamic. It is always static. So do you see this one has 3 advantages over this one. Connected lookup has 3 advantages over unconnected lookup. But then why do they even have this? The only place this one has an advantage over this one is reusability. Okay, reusability. If you're if calling same port multiple times, can use unconnected lookup. Can use unconnected lookup. Can use unconnected lookup only once. Is not reusable. Is that clear? This is the difference between connected and unconnected lookup. So this one doesn't matter. These 3 places, it has an advantage over this one. This one only has an advantage over this one. So now let's say source qualifier, join, and joiner. Okay. So what now if we want to see joiner transformation and source qualifier transformation, what are the differences? Okay, let me put this in a separate line. Okay, and then connected, unconnected. Okay, so when do you use this? When do you use source qualifier join?
If it's same database.
Joining, if you're joining 2 tables from the same database, joining 2 tables from same database, no questions asked. You will never use any of these. We'll just use this one. Okay. When do you use joiner transformation?
Heterogeneous.
If you if you are joining heterogeneous sources like table, flat file, XML, anything, joining heterogeneous sources, right? Like flat file, table, XML. Okay. And this one. So when do you use lookup?
One second, Abdul. Okay, in case of SQL join, you were saying same database, understandable.
This is
In
not
case,
SQL join. This is source qualifier join. SQL join is different.
sorry, yeah,
This
SQ,
is SQL join. Okay.
right? Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I'm doing this. Source
Source
qualifier.
qualifier, sorry, I used the wrong word. Source qualifier join, and then you have joiner. In this case, it's also going to be same database because one flat file doesn't matter, but table it will be just same database, right?
No, it can be from different databases also. Remember
Okay.
last class I said one can be SQL Server, one can be Oracle. Even then you can join.
Okay.
What does this heterogeneous mean? Heterogeneous means different, right? So different flat file table, or in the table it's one database and another database.
Okay.
Okay. So when do you use connected lookup and unconnected lookup? When do you use connected lookup and unconnected lookup? Okay. This one can only join tables and flat file. It cannot join anything else. It can only join tables and flat file, because when you're importing a lookup, do you see it can only import a table or flat file. It cannot import anything else. Table and flat file, and it always does a left join. Always does a left join. Okay. So table and flat file and left join. Okay, let me not put the left join right now. Okay, it is used to join tables and flat files, and it is faster than joiner. Okay, this is the fastest. Okay, this is the fastest. This is the slowest. Okay, this is second fastest. Okay, if you have to join a flat file with XML, and you have to do full outer join, or if you have to join flat file with table and you have to do full outer join, you cannot use this. You cannot use this. That clear to everyone? Two tables from the same database, use this. You will not even look at this. If any flat file is involved, you can only use this one and this one. This cannot be used. Okay. If you're joining two tables from different databases, you should use this one. You should not use this one. Okay. Is this clear to everyone now? Which one to use? Which one?
Yes.
Two tables from the same database, this one. Two tables from different databases, this one. You can use this one also, but then you would have to fix it by using sorter, and then you would have to use smaller table as master and bigger table as detail. Two tables from different databases, this one. Two tables from the same databases, this one. This one, if you have two tables from different databases and you want to do full outer join, you cannot use this one, because this one can only do left join between two tables from different databases. Okay. Second point, can return multiple ports. You can return multiple ports. This one can return multiple ports. This one can return multiple ports. Can return only one port at a time. Can return only one port at a time. Okay. And this is the fastest. This is the fastest. But what is the disadvantage? It can be only used with a very small subset, like two tables from the same database. Okay. Very less application, because when you're working as Informatica developer, you will have like hundreds of different kinds of sources, but this is only used for limited, very less application. Very limited, can work with very limited objects, right? Only two tables from the same databases. This one is the slowest, but it can work with anything, can work with any sources, very limited sources. Okay. This is the slowest, but can work with any source, XML, flat file, table, anything, web service. Okay. Go back. This one can only be table and flat file, but it is faster than join. Table and flat file, but faster with join. But this can only do left join. Okay. This one can do any join. Default is inner join, right? When you join two tables in source qualifier, the default join is inner join. But if you write your own query, you can do left, right, and full outer. Okay. This one can do any join. See, this is actually very good. It can join any sources, can do multiple ports, can do any kinds of join. Okay. The only problem with this one is the slowest. This one is the fastest, but so either you see, you cannot have everything. You either have one thing and lose on another thing, or you can have the second thing and lose out on the first thing. Okay. So this is faster than joiner, but can only do left join. Can only do left join and only join flat file and table. You cannot do anything else. That's clear. So you have to pick and choose how to join, when to use which one. There is another way of joining two tables. This is called as SQL transformation. I've never used this in my life, but I'll show you. I've never used this in 12 years. Okay. So this can only join, I mean, let's not go there. Okay, this is not important. These are important. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
So unconnected lookup can own Powercenter will not let you return more than one port in unconnected lookup. Okay, Powercenter by default will not let you return more than one port in unconnected lookup, but there is a way. There is a way of returning multiple. Even though Powercenter is saying you cannot return. So let me show you how unconnected lookup is. So let me get rid of this. So unconnected lookup means it's not connected in the pipeline. So you will have an expression. Suppose, okay. Hold on, let me make some slight changes to this table. Let me drop this. Where is this department table? Okay, let me drop this table. Drop table. And let me create this table with 3 columns. Department underscore budget. And I'll make this as number field. Let me create this table. Okay, 10 IT 1000. This is the budget. The budget is this one. And the budget is this much. Okay, let me drop the target table. And let me say department underscore budget number. Let me go to my shortcut folder. So over here, I added one more column, right? I can either manually make changes or I can just import the table again. So let me just make the changes manually because it's only one column. So I'll say department budget number field. Yep, I see. Okay, Control S. If I go back to my mapping, I will not see the 4th column, the 5th column here. So I will have to log out and log in. Now I see department budget also here. Okay. So let me do a lookup. Okay, let's do. So when I'm using connected lookup, I can join on department ID and department ID. Okay, I can join on department ID and department ID and see I can return multiple ports now. I want to return department name and department budget. The rest of the columns will come from source, right? So you see I'm returning multiple ports here because department name and department budget are not present in my source, so I can return multiple ports here. But when you're using unconnected lookup means I'm going to use an expression and see, I can only return either department. So I need department name and department budget. So I can either return department name or I can return department budget. I cannot return both. Is that clear to everyone? I cannot return both ports at the same time. Do you see the problem here?
Yes.
Okay, I can only return one port at a time. So if I'm returning department name, so I'll go here and say output port, and then I will say get rid of this. I'll say colon LKP dot the lookup transformation name. Okay, let me name this better. And then let me not say LKP trans. Over here, I'm returning department name, right? Returning department name. I'll call this lookup as, so over here, I'll go and say colon LKP dot the lookup transformation name, LKP department name, and the column on which you're joining. The column on which you're joining is depth ID. Is that clear? Then I can map this to the target. If I want to return department budget, then again I will say, if I'm using unconnected lookup, so I will say, I will call this as department budget, and I will, this time I will return department budget, say apply, say okay. Then I will create another output port. I'll create another output port. Over here, I will get rid of this, go to lookup. So I will have department budget now. And then I'll go to ports. And then I'll say I will have to use two lookups, unconnected lookups. Mapping is valid. Change all iconic. Arrange all. Wait, why do I have this? So one look, I'm doing a lookup on the same table. I'm doing a lookup on department lookup. And I'm doing a lookup on department lookup. But from this one, I'm returning department budget. From this one, I'm returning department name. Is that clear? So there is, if you want to return multiple ports from one lookup table, this is one way you can do it. Okay. But Informatica will only let you return one port at a time. If you try to return the other port, it will not let you. Is that clear to everyone? You can only return one port at a time. Okay.
Yes.
Is that clear? But how do you return multiple ports from unconnected lookup with only one lookup only? Okay. So how do you return multiple ports? Okay. So I'll get rid of this. You can either get rid of this one or this one. Okay. So let me get rid of this one and this one. So Powercenter let me unconnected lookup means I can either return this one or this one. So I will not return this one or this one. Okay. If you tell this to the interviewer, they'll be very impressed. They'll probably hire you if you answer this, because 99% of the people will not be able to answer this. Okay. Unconnected lookup will only let you return one port at a time. Officially, Informatica will not let you return more than one port. But how do I return 2 ports from unconnected lookup? Because it will let me only return one at a time. So I will not return this one. I will not return this one. I will click here. I will call this as O underscore department name and budget. So I will return this one and this one. Okay. How would I return this? So
Maybe we can say depth name is equal to depth blood budget in the expression.
yeah, so over here, hold on 1 second. So I'm creating an output port. Okay. So I created an output port. Okay. So I'll go here and say generate SQL. Copy this. Go back to my database. What is my lookup table called? My lookup table is called, so this is the first column, second column, third column, fourth column. This is my lookup table, right? So I'm going to concatenate this column and this column. Okay, I'm going to concatenate this column and this column. So as I'll get rid of this, I will say department name, pipe, department budget. Then I'll put, I'll differentiate them with a comma or pipe or anything. Okay. Why is it?
Maybe you should use on the depth name, not the depth lookup. Dot.
What is it?
Maybe you can try before the concatenate, depth lookup. Just take it out and just use the depth name.
No, that doesn't. It says from keyword not found where expected. So let me comment this out. This one should work fine. Okay. Then I created a third port as, so I created an output port.
But
And
shouldn't you use the as for the third column because you created the third option, right?
Yeah, I think the sequence is probably needs to be reversed. It is the concatenation as
oh
that
yeah,
out.
you're right. It should be. Yeah, you're right. Mm. Okay. Okay, I think I cannot give it a name like this. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to put this here. I will not return department name or department budget. I will instead return. I instead return. This is actually assignment question. I'm doing it right now because I know you guys. I'll have to anyways do it tomorrow. I'm not returning this one. I'm not returning this one. Instead, I'll concatenate both of these and return this. Okay. So say apply, say okay, Control S. So I'll go back here. Okay, I will create v underscore lookup underscore port. So I'll make this as string 1000. I'll create this as a variable port. So how do you return a port from unconnected lookup, you'll go to lookups, this one, and you'll go to ports and go to lookup and on the column on which you're joining. Is that clear? So now I returned. So emp ID name, dept ID I'm getting from the source. I returned dept ID and dept name concatenated. So what do I get? 1 Abdul 10. So what will I get here? 1 Abdul 10 and then IT and 1000. It's concatenated here. But I want IT in one column and 1000 in one column. So what would I do here? What would I do here?
Substep.
Do we need two variables there? Or?
So O underscore dept underscore name.
I think we can do
And,
the two output now. First one
and
is going to be
then this will be an output port. I will say substr and then of this column. So I'll say starting from the first column. So starting from the first column, give me all the way till the first comma. So IT and sales, right? IT sales. So I want this part. So how would I do it? So yeah, so I will say instr bracket open. So calculate the position of
comma.
Oh yeah, comma. Oh, one more bracket here. Okay, so department name will, then I will create, I don't have to create, I can drag and drop department budget here. This is an output port. So now department budget is everything after the first comma, right? So how would I do it? substr.
It's gonna start with the inster and nothing. It's gonna take all.
substr. Yeah, that's right. substr bracket open quotes. So I want to find out the position of the
First comma, right?
Once again, we did this plenty of times. So with unconnected lookup, I'm returning multiple ports. Did you guys see that? With unconnected lookup, I'm returning multiple ports now. Give a connection here. So where is my target table? Okay, it's still running. So I returned IT. Why did I return? Okay, Yasser doesn't have a department name and department budget. So you're going to return null for Yasser because there is no department ID 20 in department table. There is no department ID 20 in department table. Okay. So, but why am I? This one is a problem. Okay. So I'm returning I. Okay. So we need to fix this. So we need to go back and we need to say
We should use the plus sign.
-1.
Or
You have to use -1 here. Applies. Okay, IT is good. Why is department budget returning 0?
Abdul, can you show me the budget table? Can we see which zero it takes?
There is no budget table. This is
No, I
department lookup.
where does it take the budget? I just want to see that, like, where did we make a mistake?
This is my department table. It has department name and department budget. So I returned this one. I'm trying to return this one also. So I concatenated this one and this one.
Okay, so we have to make sure that, like, which zero it takes from the depth underscore budget, right?
So I want to start from the
Mhm.
position after this one.
Okay. After that, can you please put the -2?
No, over here you just have to put +1. This will calculate the position of the comma. I don't want the position of the comma. I want after the position of the comma one,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Right.
I hope this one will work. Yep. Now it's returning multiple ports from unconnected lookup. So I'm returning multiple ports from unconnected lookup. How am I doing that? I'm not returning this column or this column. Instead, I created an output column, which is concatenating this column and this column. And I'm returning that one. I'm like fooling the system. I'm saying, okay, fine. I will still return one column only. But that one column which I'm returning, I'm going to concatenate this one and this one. And in my expression, I will break it down. So I'm returning the concatenated column here. Then I'm breaking it down here. I'm breaking it down here. Is that clear to everyone? So in my department table, I have, okay, so let me make some change here. So Yasser has department ID 20 and that department ID 20 doesn't exist. So that's the reason I'm returning null for Yasser. So where I have sales, right? Let me make this as 20. Then Yasser will have a match with 20 and 20 and return sales and 2000, okay? Let me not fixing it. I purposely gave the data like that. Okay, so what is that? DEPT underscore LKP data. So I'll make this as 20. Commit it. Okay. Now, when I see, Yasser is 20. Now, Yasser will find a match 20 and return sales and 2000 here. Okay, let me rerun this. So Powercenter will not let you return more than one port. Either you can do the lookup twice or you can do lookup one time only and return a port which is concatenated of all the columns you want. And then in expression, break it down with substring. Okay, completed. See, Yasser did not have. Now if I execute this, see Yasser will have sales and 2000. And we are still returning multiple ports from unconnected lookup only. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
So it can return one port, but there is a way to return multiple ports. that clear to everyone? I wanted to cover rank transformation as well, but I don't have enough time. Okay, so
Abdul,
yeah.
yes. What performance tuning we can do in a lookup transformation? Because one time I remember the mapping was taking a lot of time to execute. So I did the left join in the source qualifier, and then I removed the lookup transformation. It was loading a lot of cache. Is there any other way to we can do the performance?
Yeah, so okay, so if I'm using a connected lookup, I don't need all of this. Okay, I don't need all of this. So I can directly return. Okay. What is a join? What is a lookup? It is a join, right? So whenever you're using a lookup, you should always, so remember yesterday when we were using a joiner, we were using sorters before joiner, right? Where is my joiner?
Yes, we said that it doesn't have to read all of the depth IDs. It has to go right away, you know.
Where is my joiner mapping? See, that's the reason you should name them properly. Did I do it or did you guys do it?
You did it, I think. I think check this thing, Abdul. Check the no all the way down. Yeah, check this one.
Yep. So do you remember we sorted the data on the columns on which you're joining? Same thing you should be doing here. Lookup will already sort on lookup. So this is one table LKP and this is another table depth LKP. This one is already taking care of it because internally it will sort on the columns on which it's joining, right? Internally. So remember, it will already sort on this one, and this one. But the source data which is coming in, this is not sorted. So never ever provide data like that. Okay, always use a sorter. Always use a sorter before feeding data into the lookup or the joiner. Okay, so now you can take this depth ID. Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry. Yeah, not for here. So you can sort this data in ascending order and take it here. And the rest of the columns will go here. So you're sorting data on department ID on employee table, and Powercenter will already sort it on depth ID because that's a column on which you're joining. So all the depth IDs will be lined up properly. All the depth IDs will be lined up properly, and then otherwise, when you're transferring data into the lookup, whatever depth ID is coming in, it will have to sort it by itself, right? Sorting should happen in this and this, just like we did yesterday. Sorting should happen here and here, right?
Yeah, actually, yes, we can source the data in the source qualifier, and then we can send
Yeah,
it.
you can do it in the source qualifier. See, otherwise, you know what will happen? There is 10 and 20 here. There is 10, 20. For example, okay, let me take some other example. So suppose you have, okay, I mean, all the data is lined up properly here. Suppose this was not in sequence. Suppose 10 was here and 30 was here. If you're not sorting the data, 30 will go all the way to the top and bottom and check. 20 will go all the way till the bottom and check because it's not sorted. If it's sorted, you will know that 10, 20, 30. So it will start from here. The moment it sees 30, it will stop here. It will not go after that because it knows that it is already sorted. There will be no 40s after this, right? So always sort the data before you're feeding it into the joiner or before you're feeding it into the lookup. Okay. Is that clear? And then you should have a primary key on this emp ID, and you should have a you should have an index on depth ID, and you should have an index on this depth ID at the database level. At Powercenter level, you should sort the data, and at the database level, you should have an index. You guys remember indexes?
Yes.
Yes.
If you have tables, you should have indexes here and here. And at Powercenter level, make sure that you sort the data. Those are the performance tuning techniques for lookup. Clear?
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
A random question here, right? You, out of all those 4 joints, you said there are some which are slow, there are some which are fast, and you say always use sorter to make the process go faster, right?
Yeah.
So after you use the sorter, will all these 4 still be slow, or I mean, like, I know there's some fast,
Over
but
here, it is sorting at the database level. Over here, you're sorting it at Powercenter level. Tell me which one is faster. Is it sorting at database is faster or sorting at Powercenter is faster?
at the database.
Okay. You already answered your question. So you will use source qualifier join if you're able to sort at the database level.
Got it.
Anything which happens at the database is always faster than which is having at Powercenter. Why? Because it's going to import all of the data, sort it here, and then, whereas when you're doing it at Powercenter at database level, while reading the data only, it is all sorted here. You will not have to bring in all the unsorted data, sort it here. So Powercenter is spending so much energy and processing to sort the data here. So try to do it at database level. But if you have a flat file, you cannot, there is no database to sort, right? Then you have no other option, but you cannot use source qualifier there. The source qualifier is good, but it's good for very small, very few scenarios. It cannot be used like how joiner can be used globally, like for anything. Source qualifier is the best, but it is very small, right? It's like a Ferrari, which is owned by a very few people because it's costly. This is like a Toyota. Everybody can own this. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So we covered a lot of interview questions today. So let me quickly, I have 4 minutes. So let me quickly go through this. How do you load multiple flat files in one table? You know. Capture source file, you know. What is the first character when you load data into a flat file? You know that. What is the difference between unconnected and unconnected lookup, and when do you use that? I need to still show you static and dynamic. Okay. Guys, interviewer will pick up the phone. First question they will ask, what is SCD type 1? What is SCD type 2? Difference between SCD type 1 and type 2. What is the difference between connected and unconnected lookup? What is the difference between static and dynamic lookup? Okay. First 5 questions will be this. Okay. First 5 questions will be this one. SCD type 1, SCD type 2, static, dynamic, connected and unconnected lookup. Okay. See, what is the difference between connected and unconnected lookup? What is the difference between static, dynamic, and persistent? Okay. For now, you should be able to answer this one, except the static and dynamic. I have a separate topic for that. Different performance tuning techniques. Okay. How do you remove duplicates from a source file? I already showed you 2. What's the difference between joiner, lookup, source qualifier, and then when do we use each? Okay. Single dollar, double dollar, parameters and variables. What is stop and error? What is bulk load? Different types of tracing levels. I already showed you. SCD type 1, type 2. Okay, this would be next weekend. Next weekend is the single most important class of the last 2 months. Okay. How do you get duplicates with union transformation? Difference between filter and router. SQL transformation, I'll cover this. Target load order plan, I already covered. Constraint based load, I already covered. Different types of joins, I already covered. How do you change the default order by? I already covered. Stop and abort, I already covered. So you're done with 70-75% of interview questions. Okay. Then this is it. And so going back to the assignment questions.
Abdul,
Yeah.
when the interviewer asking you what's the difference, just say a simple question, what is the difference between connected lookup and unconnected lookup? Are they looking for just like the definition, or they're gonna say give us an example how you used it?
You should always give an example. Otherwise, they'll think you're reading from a printout. Come up with your own examples. So, okay. Which assignment? 6, 7 is done.
8 is done. 8 is done.
8, first one is done, right?
No, second, third, fourth.
Both parts are done for 8.
Very good. Okay. Let's look at the 10th one.
9 was missing, so 10.
I think I combined 9th with some other assignment. Okay, so yep, do this one. Do both the questions. This one I already did. How to return multiple ports with unconnected lookup. Exactly the same thing I did. Instead of returning 2 columns, I want you to return 3 columns. Okay. In this one, I am asking you to create a table, insert some data. Create another table, insert some data. Create a third table, insert some data. Create a flat file, some data. Create another flat file, some data. Now I want you to join 3 tables and 2 flat files with source qualifier, joiner, lookup, unconnected lookup. In one mapping, I want you to use all the ways of different joining. Do this. Please don't disappoint me tomorrow, okay? You guys are not doing assignments, okay? Do this assignment, please. If we do this tomorrow, we can proceed with update strategy, and we can do update strategy tomorrow. Probably we can do SCD type 1 also tomorrow if you do assignment. If you guys do not do assignment, I can only cover I can only cover update strategy. If you do assignment, I can cover update strategy in SCD type 1. Okay. Anybody has any questions?
Nope, thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, please end the call and we'll meet tomorrow at 10.